We state that these decisions are mostly based on investment costs, so expenditure, and increasing coverage, but with insufficient attention to other costs, especially those that should be covered through tariffs. Most worrying, I would say, is that we have reached such a stage that increasing investment is not translating into proportionate increase in access to services because of inadequate funding of post-construction costs resulting in service failure. The most recent reports suggest that ODA is primarily allocated to urban and towards enhancements of service levels for the growing middle class rather than basic access in rural areas. So decisions are made on capital expenditure, but they're also made based on the analysis of the risk that donors and other bankers take when they fund the sector. The way that donors mitigate the risk that they take to recover their money and a fair rate of return, these strategies mostly rely on the backup of national treasuries in country. When we look at how the money is granted, mostly to rural areas, because we know that these areas need to be subsidized in order to develop, the risks are very different. Donors are not expecting any return, any payback from this grant, per definition. And so the risks are very different because they consist in low disbursement of funds, and the performance, like less systems built than expected, and misuse, all the way down from very weak institutions to corruption. And in this case, the risk mitigation strategies consist in change in financing mechanism and priorities. Let's go to a swap. Let's fund utilities instead of rural areas because they can deal with the money. What we can see is that the challenge in addressing WASH financing is basically to break the vicious cycle that goes on the left side from life cycle costs not being fully covered all the way through system breakdown. The challenge in addressing accountability is both on direct accountability, which is the accountability of the providers to users, or indirect accountability from service providers to authority, which are usually poorly developed, which leads to poor sector governance and very weak reporting in terms of actual service being delivered. So what are the major trends, challenges, and opportunities in the sector? We have identified three of them. The focus on the MDGs, decentralization, and the sector-wide approach. We think that there is focus on coverage and systems rather than on services provided. The pressure is growing to reach the MDGs. The closer we get to 2015, and the bigger the pressure. And this pressure means that we are trying to accelerate infrastructure delivery at the expense of maintaining existing systems. It also means more attention to those areas where coverage is easiest to achieve. Today, after 10 to 20 years of decentralization processes going on in many countries, decentralization is still considered important for the sector to increase in terms of efficiency, responsiveness, and accountability. It transforms completely the service delivery models at stake in countries that are implementing decentralization processes. But it is also a very long process which takes time and may slower MDGs achievement, in particular in rural areas.